Well, it's been a long time coming. Today is the first episode of those other guys. I wanted the other guys, but it was it's already a podcast.
Do you know
Spotify.
who's?
I don't know.
Let's not
I don't
give
even
them
know
any
what they
free
like.
press.
I don't know what they even do. But
Fuck them.
welcome to the first episode of Those Other Guys.
How you guys doing today?
We have Clark Plant. His actual real name is Scott.
You don't have to tell everybody that. We'll just make sure you bleep that part out. My government name. Then we got Dom Kuza, the infamous, the myth, the legend amongst Michigan bodybuilding scene.
Yeah. And this is something we wanted to do for a while. I was busy with shows, and then we had like Easter and a bunch of stuff, so we didn't get the chance to start recording. And today will be the first episode. We're gonna try to have some guests on. I know we both want to do that. We kind of mainly want to have just guests on.
Yeah, just to talk to people, see what their lives are about, kind of see what they're doing with fitness and everything, or just life in general.
Yeah, because you said it. You said authentic podcasting
is just talking. Yeah. It's not. I don't have any questions for anybody, and not really thinking about setting anybody up like that. Just want to talk to people, man. People are cool. People are searching for authenticity lately, and there's very little of it online anymore. So it's like when somebody finds it, it's like hold on to it, kind of, treasure it almost.
Well, like when I was setting up the Anchor account for the podcast, in the description I didn't even put anything fitness related. I just put like join Clark and Dom every week with a sit down for an authentic conversation with people from all industries.
Perfect.
Because we have mutual friends that are in the music industry. We have friends that, I use an office here at Estate Financial, which is my good friend, and he's a mortgage brokerage office. So we have a lot of friends that are outside of fitness, and kind of segues into like what we talk about sometimes when we say there's so much more to life than
fitness,
or fitness in general.
It's crazy, man. Like the gym should be like an hour, maybe 2 of your day, and then you should go out and do other shit with your day. But lately, everybody just seems to find that niche in fitness and think that that's just like, that's the way. It's the only way. It's the only thing I can do. I got to dedicate everything about myself to it, or else I won't make it. But then if you talk to some people, man, look at CBum. Look at like what the top tier people are doing. They do other shit. They do other shit. They go to the gym, they get their work in, but then they have other ventures, and life is about other things. It's almost like it's not even stressful to them, and that's why they're so good. I didn't see CBum post a lift for like 2 or 3 months after the Olympia. That dude doesn't give a shit.
No, he just posted a YouTube video back in a tank top. The first time wearing a tank top since the Olympia. And like, yeah, you could say, he was injured, he was recovering, whatever the hell he was doing. But like, you could tell, like, yes, obviously Mr. Olympia is very important to him. But at the same time, he was focused on growing Raw. Right. Getting established with like Dom and Matt down there. So.
And that's a Mr. Olympia, not just a competitor, somebody winning that check. And the check that most bodybuilders want.
And he's going for his 4th. And like, I don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I listened to an episode where he said, I think I'm done after this.
I mean, why? So that was, if I had any question for you, the one question that I've been wanting to ask you in general is, what the fuck is going on with bodybuilding? Like, people dying, people making this way more than it is. We've got warriors going to the gym every day. We've got this ride or die mentality, and then people die, and we act surprised about it. I think it's just very ironic. It's a very weird little niche community that the fitness industry has become. And I think from outside of the fitness industry looking in, a lot of people look in at them like, what the fuck is going on in the fitness industry? Right? Yeah. We got top people dying 3 days before the Olympia, or was it the Arnold, George DePaul?
Was it?
It was the Arnold, wasn't it?
Arnold?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 2 days before.
It was the Arnold.
Yeah.
It was the Arnold.
And then the convention went on and the show went on.
Yeah.
And he would have been top 3. And
Tom Meadows died last year.
Jeez, that one was rough.
That one was crazy.
That one was rough. That one was like one of the most humbling across the whole fitness industry, because he was like health. He did talk about health. He didn't just preach all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
and then, man, I forgot her name. I should have looked it up before we got on, but her last name is Cummings.
Most recent female?
She's a bikini competitor. I thought she was like in her 40s. She was born in 91.
Oh, no shit. That's 1 year older than me.
So for me, I was like shocked because like in her picture, the picture Dave RX Muscle posted about her was like, it was older looking. And I don't know if that came with what she did and, everything like that. Right. But once I saw like they do like the years.
Yeah.
And I saw that 91 to 2022, I was like, dude, like she wasn't even 35. She didn't even make it to 35. And it's like, okay, I honestly have no idea what happened.
Right.
I didn't look into the story.
Right.
But obviously she was in the industry and she was a figure competitor who went down to bikini. So maybe some PED usage along the lines of something, so like she took it to the extreme.
Right.
I'm sure she did. She was a good competitor.
And even saying like you haven't looked it up, most people aren't going to, right? So you're answering it or looking at it through the lens that everybody else is looking at it right now, and it's thinking the worst, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, regardless of looking into it, that's the view of bodybuilding anyway, right? If somebody dies and they take steroids, automatically we think it was from steroids, right?
No, it's a congenital heart defect that they were born with.
Oh, okay.
That's what people like to say.
That's the one.
No, he had a heart problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why he had a heart problem.
It wasn't the fact that he was
I'm not laughing about that, but
we're laughing about the situation of which we all try to justify these things.
It's all justified. It's justified. I posted that video on Instagram last week talking about Seth Feroci's video, and like he was talking about like if this is the sport that you think you need to push, this ain't the sport for you.
Didn't JP kind of say the same thing?
JP said the same thing. Yeah. So they were kind of in agreement with that. And then Seth was talking about like, go ahead and do it, but if you die, I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
Right. And I don't think anybody should, right? Because we all make that leap knowing that it's a possibility.
Not even just a possibility. It's just it's a risk. Like that's a risk you have to be okay with. But when I made the video, people were posting it, and some of the people that were posting it, I was kind of like, man, but like I know what you do, and like I don't think you get what I'm saying. People to do. So it's like, what are we getting at there? Because it's kind of weird, but
do you think that exists more than people understand within? Because like you have a different understanding because you get clients that had different coaches, and obviously clients are going to carry stories with coaches and stuff like that. I'm sure some clients that have left you have stories about you, right? But it seems like most times in the fitness industry, there's what they say and then there's what they do, right? Because they say health, they say this, they say that, but then there's a lot of stuff out there where it's like, you see somebody who may have come to you, not you in particular, but like a coach or to another coach from another coach, and you look at their cycle list or something that they were having them do, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This guy preaches health. This is not even close to what you need to be doing for health.
And in the beginning of me coaching, I'm sure it was like that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
At the end of the day, it's an extreme sport, whether you want to admit it or not.
Oh, for sure.
There's going to be situations for extreme measures. Like, that's just an inevitability. And we did a podcast with Goob yesterday, and we were talking about that. And we said that, he said that you're not hiring the dude to make you as healthy as possible at the end of the day. You're realistically hiring him so you could win.
Right.
And some coaches take that to the extreme.
That's fair, I guess.
And ultimately, if I have a client signing up with me, their sole purpose in life is to win their pro card. They have the mentality of, yes, sir, do what I say, sir, kind of thing.
Right.
You're not hiring me that person's not hiring me to say like, oh, Dom, I want the most perfect blood work. Well, so. Do
you coach based on that? Like if I came to you and I was like, Dom, whatever the fuck it takes, are you maybe more lenient to take a risk with
I
me?
Would be.
Yeah. because I'm essentially telling you.
Yeah, no, I would be.
Yeah.
But like I will be to an extent. Once I start seeing things that I'm just not comfortable with, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, I know that you've done that before, which is good. I mean, even my competition, you told me.
Yeah, I pulled you out of it.
You're like,
so
let's not do it.
And then like there's some other guys too that like their blood work just wasn't good, and I made them go see specialists. I made them go do this, and yeah, like did they waste a year? Maybe they could look at it like that, but at the end of the day, they thank me still to this day.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I know. I'm thankful for our decision, and funny enough, our decision didn't even come on paper. It's not like I had a test that said, "Hey, maybe not."
It was just like
it was
way
mental.
You were feeling mental.
And wasn't sleeping for like a week, gaining weight. You had me checking it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it looked like my Friday was my Monday, and my Monday was my Friday.
Yeah.
Like I was just going in reverse, dude. It was horrible. So, yeah, I mean it's crazy the light bodybuilding is taking on right now, because I know people will approach me that have nothing to do with bodybuilding or anything, but they have an interest in working out, and they'll be like, man, aren't you afraid? And part of me is like, yeah, for sure. But then, especially with everything that's happened lately for me, I live by the I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And as ignorant, naive, and dumb as that could be, it's true. I only got one chance at this life. I want to live it how I want to live it, right? I could live scared, and maybe some people should, right? Because maybe some people don't understand the risk that they're fully getting involved into. But I've had a very humbling experience to where I know now, like, if I want to take a little bit of a risk, I'm more comfortable in taking that risk, because I've already looked something in the face that I didn't expect, right? And after that, it's like, it's very down to earth in the sense of like, I want to do what I want to do, man, because who knows what I can do tomorrow.
That to me, that's wild.
I know, because
that you think like that,
but you have a way different outlook. You in the sense that you're a dad now, right? You have this company.
Well, I guess, yeah, if you talked to me a year ago, I probably would have a different answer.
Right. And mine comes from something that normally people slow down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh shit, I got to slow down. To me, it was almost like I got to live more.
Yeah.
I got to push more to live. I got to try this now. I got to try that, because what if I die tomorrow and I never get to like experience that, right? So it is a weird outcome in a sense, but it's almost made me less fearful, like more fearless, right? Overcoming that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's wrong. My mom's probably going to cringe listening to this, but it is what it is. And I don't mean necessarily taking the risk with like PEDs or anything like that, but like, I don't like heights, right? So I stay away from roller coasters and shit. I don't like that idea of them.
So we're going to Cedar Point this summer.
Maybe, right? So like shit like that though, like, and that's the thing too, right? Life. Not bodybuilding. Not everything has to do with bodybuilding. Just because I survived this, now I'm gonna push and try to run, like, pedal to the metal, run it off the wheels. But it's not like that. It's just I realized too, like, laying there, all I wanted to do was train. I didn't want to compete. I didn't want to suffer through diet. I just want to lift some fucking weight, and that's become a thing now too, right? Like, isn't this supposed to be fun? Isn't this supposed to be therapy or a coping mechanism? Or, like, if I don't get it, I'm depressed. Well, it seems like most people are depressed 23 hours of the day, and that 1 hour, that's all they get. And it isn't therapy. They didn't cope with anything. They just did it, and then they leave and go right back into the same mentality that they were in before. You notice that?
Yeah.
I hate it, because it seems like so disingenuous to what they preach. And that's, I mean, fuck, I could stay here for 2 hours talking about that. But the fact that, I don't know, I could go on about this bullshit, but
do it. I mean, dude, we're in the industry that is just, it's a very fake industry. It's very
it attracts
fluffed,
fragile people.
It's very fluffed, and yeah, exactly. It attracts very mentally fragile people who are looking for some sort of attachment to a sense of community that is kind of developed off of a facade.
Yeah.
Like the way, I mean, I've talked,
straight illusion.
Yeah. I've talked about it. Like the way people comment on people's pictures and all those things. It's like, yeah, I honestly, God, I can't even read them anymore and be like, oh, they actually meant that.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I don't think anybody means anything anymore. And like, I like when people
Or
are
it's like
almost
when people like, I know you guys have never met each other. Why are you talking to
right.
them like
Why are
that?
you best friends all of a sudden? I think I was talking to Ryan actually about it at the show that just happened. It's like people almost talk to you as if you're going to screenshot it and post it.
Wow.
You know, right?
Wow.
Because they're anticipating like, I need to say something so profound in this moment that he might screenshot it and post it. And it's so hard to have a conversation with anybody I meet from the gym. It's like, that's why I talked to 4 people that I've met at the gym total, you know? Like, other than that, it's so fake to me because like, oh man, you're going to come back better. I never asked you, bro. I'm sorry. Like, and it's not even like a thing. It's like, but I just said, how's your day going? And you're all of a sudden now I'm getting this speech from CT fucking Fletcher and you have nothing to offer. And it's not anything personal, but like to somebody who's been doing this and you haven't, I don't need to hear it from you. I don't need to hear it from somebody who has been doing it. I just said, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk like a human. Hey, how's it going, man? Oh, you know, it's going good. I just want to do this. Make sure you come back strong. Like, shut the fuck. You know, that's what it seems like. It seems like everybody's trying to leave you with like, man, I just had, so that I go on Instagram and I'm like, man, I just talked to Dom for 20 minutes. It was the best conversation I've had in a long time. Thanks, Dom. I love having friends like Dom. You know, like that's what it seems like now.
Yeah.
And it's fucking gross. It's so gross.
It's, well, back to like just the people. It brings people. I feel like it in some of these people's minds, it creates that I belong to something, but that it like feels it's like an empty void that's filling an empty void. Kind of, I don't know how.
Right, because it's not sustenance.
I'm sorry, it's something that's not genuine that's filling that void. So that void remains empty at the end of the day.
Right.
Because it wasn't genuine. You're not actually going to feel it.
Right.
Because there's nothing backing it that's real.
And I bet they're skeptical about it the whole time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
They're probably like, man, is she really talking to me like that?
Right. Because I'm sure I've said it. I know I have. I know I've seen somebody that didn't deserve a compliment. I gave them the best compliment that I could think of on the top of my head, right? Just to return it, maybe to keep it moving. Maybe I like the guy. But at the same time, like some of this shit can be so disingenuous because we tie such emotion to this sport. That's a weird thing with this sport. It's so emotionally tied. There's no logic in this sport.
Well, yeah. Compared to other sports, you'll see surface emotion like tears, whatever. But that is purely based on competitiveness.
Right.
It's not based on like, I don't even know. Like I played sports growing up. Ryan, I did play sports.
Soccer.
But that was a much different feeling when it came to the competitiveness portion of it. The times I've competed, I never got on stage and thought like, oh, I got to crush the guy next to me. Like, because it's subjective. The way I look next to him, we have nothing to decide.
No. Yeah, you've done all the work.
Those guys and girls in front of us are going to decide.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it gets really weird. It's like, what are you emotional about when you're competing? And I think it feeds mental health issues.
Oh yeah. Like it's like enabling.
It pours gasoline on a fire.
Yes.
That's brewing. You know, you might have a little fire inside your head that's small, but competing, pushing yourself to the edge like that, surrounding yourself around this fake bullshit, you're putting like ethanol 83 on that shit. Right. And it's burning.
Right. Not to mention when you do like mention that you are about to compete or you are in prep.
Oh, dude.
What about the traffic that comes with that?
My Instagram was 2 times as more engaging when I was competing.
Oh, for sure.
Like when I was getting ready for a show.
For sure.
It was,
imagine if you came out with your podcast then.
Everyone was following.
I wouldn't be doing this with you.
Everyone was following. Everyone was paying attention.
Right.
Everyone was sharing saving
yep.
whatever. Like the second the show was done, it was like, right in half.
See ya. Yep. Expect that. And I think that's like,
addicting.
Yes. And it's a
to
fall from grace too, which like psychologically will fuck people up. Because all of a sudden this post would have got
Yeah,
hundreds more of likes.
They're at this pedestal.
Yes.
On social media.
Yes.
The second the show's over, they're now back at their baseline. Maybe a little bit over baseline.
Yeah. Maybe you caught a couple people that were inspired.
Okay, and then that's addicting to a lot of people. I talked to Dina about this, not about this, but about pregnant women and how actually some women are addicted to being pregnant.
Yes,
because of the way the community treats them, the kind of support they get, the kind of appreciation they get, all of those things. It has an addictive feeling to it. Take somebody who lives and dies and breathes social media, competitive. I have to post my 6-week update.
Right.
I have to do this. They get addicted to the feedback. They get addicted to the love, the appreciation, all that.
It's a sense of community,
Yeah.
right? Because if you have competed, I know I do it. When I find out somebody's competing, I follow harder.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
I want to
you pay
keep
attention
up.
more.
Yes,
they're in your search box a bit more.
Yes, and a lot of it is because I've done it, so I want to support as well because I know how fucking hard it is, right? Like I know powerlifters that are like, I'm 16 weeks out, boom, notifications on. I want to see everything they do because I want to cheer them on.
Yeah,
because I know that prep, I know having a deadline for something is just hard enough, stressful enough.
Yeah, okay,
right?
but look how genuine you're saying that.
In what way?
You're saying with a lot of emotion behind it.
Like that I want to support
you
people?
actually want to support
Oh,
them.
yeah, of
I'm saying
course.
you're not doing it in a
I'm not
false,
trying to,
like,
right.
You're not doing it in this hype, like, bullshit.
But I also don't care if they support me back. So that's the big one. Because
That's
I'm
what
not
genuine
looking,
is, though.
I'm not looking for a return.
You're not, yeah, exactly.
But people will lie to themselves and say, I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, Dom. I'm following you because you've inspired me. But then as soon as you're done competing, no more likes, no more shares, no more comments.
There's
right?
people who still tag me on stories, still tag me on posts, and I haven't coached them for over a year.
Oh, I believe it.
And all they are asking for is a reshare.
Right.
That's all they're asking for.
Right.
And because they're trying to, so side note.
Yeah.
Do you know Skip Hill from Elite FTS? He's part of like the core group. He so he talks. He's older. He's friends with like Dave Tate. John Meadows was one of his best friends.
Okay.
And he talks about this a lot. He's got a good following with like probably like maybe like 5-6 years older than you kind of crowd.
Okay.
He talks about this because he hates when people do this. If people tag him in things, he'll call them out and say things like, "You're just trying to get famous or get stuff off of me.
Right.
You're trying to ride my coattails right now."
You know who has that a lot? Hussam.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Like with other powerlifters?
Powerlifters, bodybuilders, people from the east side of Dearborn, whatever it may be, when Habibi posts, the shares that man gets, I already know, like the fake love and stuff, and I know for a fact he was sharing them a lot, but now he doesn't.
I don't share anything.
No, I don't share nobody. I share you and Sally.
Yeah.
And I would share Ryan, but he don't ever post.
No, he don't
Yeah,
post.
So,
but I stopped sharing it. I stopped sharing reposts
Yeah.
because I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, these people are just trying to get me to do something for them, and they think if they help me in a way that I'm not asking for,
right, exactly,
that I'm gonna return the
favor. It becomes
favor.
disingenuous.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. You can tell when it's like genuine or not.
Mm-hmm.
If I haven't talked to you in 3 months and then all of a sudden you start tagging me in every post, like
things like you could even look at it just like life wise, right? Like if somebody gets engaged, right? They post it, it's online, they whatever. Do you comment or do you text them?
right, depending on who they are to me, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
So you could text them or you could comment so everyone else can see that you congratulated them.
Ooh.
Or you could text them and just keep it genuine.
Wow,
Now
yeah.
how fast that comes into your head is what that person means to you.
Yeah, I believe it.
Is if you actually give a shit about congratulating them, or you just want the world to see that you congratulated them, that you were in that thread.
I was about to say, I'm about to throw myself under the bus.
Because I had somebody that
if I see it's your birthday, I'm texting you, right? Like if I love you. I don't even do it on Facebook anymore. So if you get a Facebook happy birthday from me, it was like I was bored.
One of my friends got engaged. He posted his picture and everything. I texted him.
Right.
And he had probably 60, 80 comments congratulating him. And you know what he said to me? He said, "Thanks for the text."
Oh, for sure.
Because he was like,
it's more personal at that point too.
But that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about.
I wish you would have screenshotted and shared it. just because that's
Because social media, you take social media and you have all that available to everybody, right? Everyone's eyes are on it. Which person are you at the end of the day?
Right. That's like if I started a debate now, I try to take it to the DMs. Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't need the crowd
watching.
Yeah, I don't need 20 people liking what I say to you. I don't care about that. You know, I just want to discuss something. And in that discussion, I hope that you prove me wrong most of the time. Because I hate being right, because that means that I didn't learn something. Right? As stupid as that sounds to some people, because they're like, why do you want to be wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, I learned something. And if it's embarrassing, I never fucking forget it. You know what I mean? Because if I stuck my neck out and somebody messages me and like, hey, dummy, that's just not right, I'll never forget that lesson. Right? And that is why I know a lot of dumb shit, because I've said a lot of dumb shit and people have corrected me. So like I know these little things because I've been around. I've said stuff. But that is also why now I'm more quiet on a lot of aspects. And like it might not seem like it because I do these little minute rant videos about stupid shit, but there's a lot of aspects that I'll text you first before answering, isn't there?
Yeah, there's
a lot of times. And there's times where you've told me that's not true. And I'm like, all right, then it doesn't get posted.
All right.
It doesn't get posted. Yeah. I don't need anything more than that.
Oh, man.
I don't need anything more than that.
But that's good. You can learn from, I mean, I think that's the best thing.
Well, how else do you grow, right? We're talking about fitness, unfortunately, but like everybody, you grow outside the comfort zone. But nobody's uncomfortable.
No.
Nobody's uncomfortable.
I talked about this before too. There's like, think of like a big bubble, and or a big circle, right? The inner piece of the circle is your comfort zone. Then there's like the little bit of outside of your comfort zone, right? And then there's like this big panic zone. People think they're in the panic zone, right? But they're like one step out of the comfort zone,
right. They almost
so where
got
it feels a
little
little uncomfortable, but they're safe enough to just pull back if they have to. Nobody actually gets out of their comfort zone by doing that. You have to get to the panic zone, where like if you take a step back, that's still going to be uncomfortable,
right? You
have to go. You know, you
got to take like a jump.
You're doing 5 steps forward,
zone. Yeah.
So you're 5 steps away from your comfort zone. That's real. Getting out of your comfort 100%. Zone. And don't tell me doing 2 hours of cardio is getting outside of your comfort zone, because it's not.
It's not, dude. No, that's not out of your comfort zone. That's a very comfortable zone. That's 2 hours of exactly what the fuck you need to do. But yeah, I mean, it is funny, and you know, hopefully getting some people on here that we both know in and out of the fitness industry, it'll talk about life outside of it just as well as life inside of it, right? Because not everything has to be tied up to this sport. And I think a lot of people are missing that because, you know, and maybe I'm just seeing it through the lens that I see it through because I follow that, right? But it seems like you either live or live this way completely or you don't. And if you're like kind of meddling in other aspects, you're not as serious as the next person. And like, right. And there is that, but with fitness, it's one of those things where I feel like you can get away with just taking that hour serious, making your meals for the day, make sure you get a gallon of water in the day. And that's checking 99% of the boxes right there. Right.
Yeah.
Where it's not like a career in that sense. Right. Because you should only last an hour and a half in the gym. Was that a day of work? I don't know, right? You don't spend much more time outside of that researching, and maybe you do, and I bet it shows in your physique, right? But it's not like work where you got to go clock in, you have to be there for 8 hours to get paid. No, the results are how much effort you give, right? So if you're in there for 2 hours giving bullshit effort, it probably shows. But if you're in there for an hour giving it fucking everything for that hour and then going to live the rest of life, it still shows. So it's like, it's crazy that to me, like, people have just, you got to be 100% or 110% in this, or it's nothing else. Or I can't even listen to you if you aren't 110% in this. And it's just.
Yeah, but where are those people? Those people
on Instagram.
Well, no. I'm saying, where are they? Where are
nowhere. They're just on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're not doing shit
and
with
that's
their lives.
It. Like, they preach all that, and it got them absolutely nowhere because they didn't focus on other aspects of their life.
Then they text me and you like why do I feel so empty?
Yeah. Or like, can you help me?
Right.
Or, like there are guys like that and girls like that, and then it's gotten to the point where like they were so hardcore that now they don't have a job or they don't do anything. Like now they're struggling to work. They're struggling to do things because they still have that mentality of like, well, I can't have a job if it takes away time from the gym and sleep and steps and like that kind of sick, mentality. But I mean, there are a lot of people like that. We know guys like that.
Yeah, 100%.
We know guys like that, and I know they don't work.
Right.
I know they can't afford anything.
Right.
Because they're willing enough to be like that for some reason.
To risk it all.
To risk it all to what? To what? Get a plastic card?
And a couple of likes on Instagram, bro. A couple of likes on Instagram.
No, they think they're going to get the supplement deal that's going to pay their, six-figure salary that they're dreaming about.
Do supplement companies even do that anymore?
No, you don't even need to be a competitor anymore.
No, oh God, dude, I don't even want to talk about that aspect of it. But like, even for these top athletes, do they even pay that?
Yeah,
well?
they do. They do. I know, like when you talk top athletes, what are you talking? Like Olympia guys, top 10 Olympia guys.
Yeah, for shits and giggles, let's talk.
Yeah, like I know, like Ian's talked about his contracts before on live.
Yeah,
he's in the 5 figures a month kind of salary. Nice. So like. Yeah.
So it is there.
Yeah, it is there.
It is there. Okay.
But
it's very few.
Well, 10? He's number 10.
Right. 10 out of the world?
Yeah. So I'm sure it's lucrative. It's all over the place. But, oh, God, this is great. We were talking about this yesterday, too. People, like, with all these followers, with all these likes, with all this bullshit, they can't monetize a freaking fraction of it.
Right.
Like, I was a part of Kalo's Body, those creams and stuff. I sold more units than Breon Ansley did. How does that make any sense? He has over 500,000 followers.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, dude. It really doesn't. But that's
the thing. Like a lot of these profiles and pages and things like that, they're followed just for like entertainment. And there's no knowledge backing. There's no anything. Then they're the worst business people ever. Right. They don't know a thing about business.
Well, didn't somebody just post that? Somebody posted something about like the girls that just show their asses for supplement companies actually make less for that supplement company than people who are educated on that supplement and who can actually talk about it and stuff. And I forget who just posted it, but I just saw that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Goob, you better share this because I've said your name like 4 times.
Yeah, definitely giving them some praise.
We were talking about this yesterday. Yarishna, that really popular wellness girl, 2.5 million followers.
Okay.
He found her photoshopping and like called her out on it and whatever.
Dude, watch yourself around that dude.
But I guess a clothing company that had a deal with her reached out to him after and told him some details about it. And she 2.4 million followers, right? 120,000 likes on pictures, whatever. Do you know how many units of clothing she sold?
35.
0.
Oh my God, dude.
0.
That's insanity. 0. That's 2.4 million people just scrolling past you.
Yeah.
Just hitting a like because your boobs or your butt's out. Or you got abs, right? If you're a male and your dick's showing, because that's apparently the coolest thing in the world now to do. Fucking ridiculous. Softcore porn Instagram now. But yeah, dude, it doesn't surprise me at all because they're not after a genuine following. They're after quantity, not quality, right? I'd rather have a very low following of people that I actually want to follow or people that I actually want to talk to or hear from or get their critiques, right? Rather than a million people just going steroids. That's never seemed fun to me. And maybe it was because I was natural for so long and so many people thought I was on steroids for so long. But now, like, God forbid I put a random comment on like a Barstool post or something. Steroids. What's wrong with this guy? Calm down, man. Calm down. And I'm like, bro, all I did was put caps locks on. Like, I'm not over here like fucking like but like,
that's
of course, yes, they look at my profile and they're like, this dude for sure rages. It's fucking hilarious, man.
No, but, I mean, it is and it isn't.
Right. It's funny to me.
It's funny to laugh at. Like, you should be able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Laugh at what you're attached to.
Dude, I laugh every time I pin up. I go, this is how much I like muscles. I'm willing to put a needle in myself because I like muscles this much. Like, that is crazy. If you can't laugh at yourself for that in like the grand scheme of things, bro, you are so lost.
Yeah.
You are so lost already before you've begun, because you're doing this shit that's risking your life, that's not going to make that much money unless you're top fucking 10, like we just said, is illegal, and is dangerous as shit just all around. You're putting a fucking needle in you. What are you, a nurse? Right? So, like, you're taking all these risks and you can't laugh? You can't laugh? Bro, that's the one thing you should be able to do. When people say steroids, I'm like, yeah, 100%. Thank you for noticing. Because if I'm sticking a needle in myself, I want it to be noticeable, okay? So, yeah, dude, that shit don't offend me at all. And if it does, man, fuck your genetics. Are you mentally set up for this? Are you mentally set up for this? That's one thing I don't think anybody thinks about. They only think about the physical matter.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing about the mental end of how hard this shit is.
Whenever somebody comes to me and is like, oh, I want to try competing, or if they say I want to try competing,
you automatically,
but
sorry.
Like, if they say, like, I'm thinking about doing my first show, I've been working out for 5-6 years, the first thing I say is, you have to do a real mental check about everything, because it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very hard.
It's going to be way different than what you're used to.
Yeah, it's going to be way different than you cutting carbs on Saturdays and, just to trim up a little bit.
I'm carb cycling.
Yeah, but it's a whole nother beast in itself, And I've worked with so many people now, but I've seen both ends. I've seen the really mentally strong, and I've seen the really mentally weak. I've seen the ones that can't handle a diet day after day, 2 back-to-back low days. Oh my God, you're trying to kill me. Oh, it really? Like, you're not. I
hope it's gonna be 5 low days and then 7 low days once we get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, and then that's when and those are the people that never last.
Right.
Those people,
they burn out fast too.
Yeah.
Those are always the ones that seem the most dedicated on surface.
They change their entire bio on Instagram.
Yes, the surface level of like, not confidence, but what would that be? The dedication. Right? But surface level dedication doesn't tap into what it really takes. And when you get to that, what it really takes, that's when dedication really comes out. And if you don't have it, if you're all about the pictures and all about the comments and all about the likes, when shit gets hard, you're going to pull way back, because Instagram is the new bodybuilding. Instagram, that, like, think about how many people you follow or have followed or know of, right? That manipulate their standings or show, oh, it wasn't a good showing, or this, that, and the other, right? Yeah. And they get more likes than the person that won. So they're still benefiting more than the person that won, because the person that won, it don't even matter anymore. That's not what it's about anymore. It's not about winning. It's about trying. It's about participating in the judging event, in the beauty pageant, right? And that's like all that matters. And on some hand, for sure, fuck it. There's going to be maybe 2% of the people that are going to compete ever get up on stage in your fucking skibbies. That's crazy. Talk about whatever you want. That is fucking hard, no matter who you are. But then there's the people that just take it serious. And then that step up is just even more so different.
Yeah.
And that's just so very
well,
rare.
I think too, people get into hobbies, right? And then they get, like, attached to the hobby.
It just reminded me of something.
What?
Just you keep going.
So they get attached to the hobby. He's gonna write it down.
Yeah, I gotta write it down.
They get attached to the hobby. They get really invested into the hobby, and then that lasts for 6 months to a year, and that's like their hobby high. I call it, right?
Okay.
I have them. Right, I was really into guns. Sure. I was really into, now I'm into fucking cars.
I was about to say a BMW page just added me on Instagram the other day.
So, like, I do it too.
Right, we all do it.
But it's like this. If you want this to be your thing, this is not a hobby.
No.
This is the furthest thing from a hobby, because it is a lifestyle.
Right.
Even though we talk about where, like, you should be doing other things outside of it, at the end of the day, everything that you're doing should somehow, some way be supporting your lifestyle of doing this.
Right, for sure.
Like, you can be doing a career that's completely different than it, but this is your focus. You shouldn't be out drinking with those people. Like, those are the kind of things that you need to take out. That a hobby doesn't restrict you from other things, right? So that's where I think people need to, make sure they're crossing the line when it comes to this hobby talk. Because hobbies last for 6 months to a year.
Okay.
You're really addicted to it. You get really invested into it. And then it's like, this didn't fill that puzzle piece that I thought it was going to. On to the next thing.
Right. That void.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that, compete, get really invested into it for like a year or two. They're all about it. Everything they post their meals, they post this, their bio says second place, nationally qualified, all of this stuff. And then you don't hear from them a year later because they were done with it. It wasn't their thing.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. And that's kind of what I wrote down was motivational speakers. I think motivational speakers have ruined almost everything. You can't do a hobby anymore. Because if you do a hobby and you can make money out of it, you're a bum for not making it a side hustle, right? Any motivational speaker is going to tell you that. You have a business inside of you. Some people don't. Some people don't. But then they hear that, and then they're wondering why they don't. Or they try, they fail, and it crushes them rather than like help them maybe build up for another thing, right? But I know a lot of people that want to do a side hustle, want to have a side gig, but they can't figure it out. And then they feel lost looking for a new one all the time because, again, they're trying to fill that void. But you ask them what they listen to or find out, they post something, this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden here they are listening to Gary Vee, E.T. They're listening to all these self-help, motivational speakers who are dope. That shit works, gets me going too, right? But you also have to look at it from a critical eye because you're allowed to do this as a hobby and still be competitive. You might not be the best in the world, but you can compete, right? And I feel like people fall back on that, well, I just want to try, right? But then when you look at their profile or you talk to them, everything is this, that, and it's like you're taking it way more serious than you just want to try, but you're very nonchalant towards this. And I don't think people understand the balance, right? Like I was saying, you should have other shit on the outside. But to me, competing isn't life, right?
Yeah.
If competition is life for you, then yeah, you should probably work at the gym. You should probably be like a coach in some aspect. Your day should probably revolve around
everything.
But I have this feeling that people can't do that, right? So they feel as if they're failing. So now it's time to push more drugs. Now it's time to make a dumb post about how serious I am because some people might not think I'm that serious because I don't work at the gym or I don't do that. And it's just this facade that we've been talking about this whole time, right? And it's just, it's an ugly sport. It's turning ugly on me. And I kind of wanted to ask you too, though, like, because you said Ryan was talking about it from Gifted about how overall winners and this, that, and the other. Yeah. But I just want to more so talk about the show that just happened. And like, how do you feel about competing lately? Not you in the general, but just like, because I know that, but like shows lately, is the quality of showing going down or is it the quality of competitor? Like, are there too many shows to where it's flooded the market and now it's almost like that supply and demand?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I'd say the quality of the competitor is dropping and there's too many shows and it spreads the good people thin now.
Right.
So where you're, instead of having like one show with like 10, 12 really, really, really good people, those 10, 12 are getting spread across 7 shows now.
Right. So it's like
you're
one or
getting
two.
1 to 2 kind of really outstanding people. But like that's Michigan.
Right. No doubt.
I talked to Justin Mahaley and he's down in Texas and they have rock stars coming out.
Doesn't he
shows.
have a show now?
He's a main sponsor for a show.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's the quality of the competitors dropping, and I'm going to tell you why I think young kids realize they don't need to compete to be known. Because when we were getting into fitness, the competitors were who everyone knew.
Those were the rock stars.
Yeah, those were the rock stars. Now it's the fitness model standing with his shirt off next to his car is the rock star. And kids realize that they don't need to compete. They need to just get lean enough to look like that, to take their pictures, do whatever they want, grow their brand how they want. And And I think that's deterring younger people from wanting to compete. And then the older crowd is getting older and they're stopping competing. And then you have a good chunk of this middle ground where it's like they are really good and they just are focused on national stages now, where they're constantly qualified, or they pop in once every year or two just to get requalified, then do another nationals run. And that's usually who you see as who's the best, right? Jimmy smashed it. He looked amazing. Yeah. He was just qualifying for nationals.
Right.
So that was his reason to compete. If it was a year earlier and he decided to do nationals, he wouldn't even have had to done that show.
Right.
So
I got
it's just sitting outside of that expiration date.
Yeah.
Like Ryan, right? Ryan doesn't have to qualify this year. But last year he only competed in Michigan because he had to qualify. So I think you have like those time gaps with those competitors. You have the younger crowd that doesn't want to compete. And then you have the older crowd that's just getting too old now. Because we don't have big masters classes here.
No.
There's usually 1, 2, 3, 4 people in them. And it's only like men's physique and bikini. You see some bodybuilders, but it's not as spread out like how it is in other states. That's my take, looking in on it.
Right.
I think there's just too many shows.
I just think that there's too many shows. I think that, and I don't know, like, when we started talking, I thought I knew a lot. And then like, I would be like, oh, that guy looks good. And you're like, And then I'd be like, all right. And then now you show me what a guy looks like. I'm like, yeah, for sure. But I don't see the difference. So like, to me, I don't have that eye anymore. Like that I thought I did. Right. But that's just humbling myself talking to you. But my personal opinion is that there's just too many shows, right? That it's flooded this market, and you have people that just want to compete, which there's nothing wrong with. Like I said, that's fucking awesome, getting up there in your skivvies. But there should be like just wanting to compete shows. Yeah. There should be like literal like warm up shows, and then there should be national qualifier shows.
Well, that's how it was ran years ago.
Yeah,
but I mean, as a businessman, I see why there's 100%. So many. I see why everyone's a national qualifier. I see why all that.
Yeah, what was it, like $60 for a morning and night show ticket now? Yeah, I would be having 20 shows a fucking year. Oh, yeah, you didn't have to pay. So, yeah, I went up and I paid for Sally and she goes, $110. I said, sorry? And she's like, $110 for the morning and night? I was like, oh, no, just for tonight. So it would have been $55 for morning and night show for each Sally and I.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Why not?
Right. For sure.
And again, as a businessman, the number one people you want to attract are those, hey, I just want to try it. Because they bring 20 to 30 people with them at finals.
Right.
They bring 20 to 30 people with them to prejudging.
Right.
Because
it's new to
them.
They're
first timers. Their family's like, what? What are you doing? I
You're
have to
bodybuilder?
Come. I have to come. I have to check it out.
That's
wow. Second time I competed, like 2 people came. Like
right. Yeah.
But the first time I competed, more people came.
100%.
Because this is your first time doing it. Your family, your friends, everyone's excited. They want to support you. First-time competitors always bring the most amount of people to a show. So you want as many first-time competitors as you can. You want to have huge, true novice classes because they bring a huge crowd behind them. So I can see, business-wise, I can see how lucrative it is. I can see why it's designed the way it's designed. We could sit here and talk about how it's ruining the sport, but maybe it's helping the sport because now the NPC has more money to put into other things. I don't know.
I don't know if it's ruining the sport so much, the whole sport. It's very hard. Like Michigan guys going to nationals and getting 8 alive, but they were overall winner a week ago.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, and that to me, that's what it's ruining, if that's the word that I would use. It's just giving an unrealistic standing or perspective as to where Michigan competitors stand.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like you show up and you train hard, like there's going to be 1,000 people at the show, and you show up and there's 4 people and 2 of them don't even deserve to be on stage with you. And it's not the sense that they don't deserve it as like a human being. Of course they deserve it. They pay their money to get
the
on.
way they look.
Yeah, it's just we're talking about the sporting aspect of it. Wayne Gretzky doesn't deserve to play with me from House League, right? It's a difference. So like, and it's no personal thing against them, and it is what it is. But to me, that's what it may be ruining, for a lack of better word.
Yeah, and I think that's where like the old school, more hardcore bodybuilders think it's ruining the sport.
Well, I mean, I'm a product of the old school hardcore bodybuilders, right, from the gym that I got started in, because it was before social media. So I'm that old head now ranting about the young whippersnappers that just fuck off and show up 16 deep, showing their abs and shit, and taking their shirt off after a set of squats because that trained their core. I don't know, but yeah, that now I'm the old grumpy man. Even what did one kid call me? I was in my mid-30s and just complained about everything.
Who said that?
I don't want to say his name, but the one gangster kid now.
Oh, yeah. He said, oh, you're in your mid-30s and you're just miserable and
they complain about
everything.
That made me laugh so fucking hard. It made me laugh so hard. I was like 28 at the time. It's like, damn. He said, lay off the trend.
Yeah.
I had never taken it then. That was amazing. And then we come to find out he was fucking pumping that shit.
Yeah.
Like, go figure.
Oh,
and then another flash in the pan. But it is what it is, man. We see
an example of
how
flash
many
in the
times
pan.
have we fucking seen that?
I'm going to live and die for this.
Yep.
Like, and now you don't even bodybuild anymore.
Now your hobby is over.
Yeah.
Like you said, a year, 6 months.
Yeah, your hobby's done. That's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
You know? But
hopefully this isn't a hobby. This
What?
podcasting.
no, I enjoy this.
Yeah, same.
And we can kind of get into what, like, I'm trying to do now is next step for me is competing is totally
I was about to say, do you want to talk about this now?
Yeah, because I think people should, hear about it. Competing is 100% on a hard stop, dead stop hold for me. Won't be anytime soon.
Not even a thought.
Not even a thought process in my mind. I'm just scaling back on everything,
Right.
Because having a kid changed my entire life, the way I look at things.
Of course.
And not to say that I didn't take Dina's, not to say I didn't take it as seriously because of her,
Right.
but having a kid was just like I don't know, just like it was just like man, people ain't lying. Like once you you can't put
Right.
it into words until you have it.
Right. I can't imagine.
Yeah, so it's like I don't see the benefits anymore of pushing my health, pushing drugs, pushing things like that. I don't find it a benefit for anything, career-wise, anything for me anymore. I know my genetic ceiling. I know I'm a much better coach than I am competitive athlete. My genetics are C to B tier at best. Like, I know that I fall in that camp of you would have to push it to do well. And that's something that at this point in my life is not an important thing anymore. So, don't ask me when I'm competing because I'm not.
Right.
And it's not that I'm, completely stopping competing, but as of right now, it's on a huge hold because it's not important. Pushing weight's not important.
Pushing weight isn't body weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushing body weight's not important for me. So I'm not going to be doing that.
Because you're still going to exercise and work out, obviously.
Nothing's changing, essentially.
Right, in that sense.
But, like, I don't plan on getting to 230, 240 like how I wanted to. But now I'm just kind of... Chris Tuttle is my coach, and me and Chris talked back and forth. And he was like, dude, you're preaching to the choir. Like, this is why I quit.
Right.
Like, and he's like, let's just get you down to something really lean and just... maintain it. You'll just be happy the way you are, like that. And I was like, yeah, like that's something I'm completely content with. Like, I like the way I look now. If I could trim it up a little bit, I think it would look perfect to maintain,
Right.
and still look like I work out. Like,
and the benefit of Michigan is you can get soft in a couple of months because it won't be hot.
and not have to worry about it. But Seth's video, Cedric's death, did it have something to do with it? Yeah, for sure it did. But it was something that's always in my mind, and we talked about it so much. Like, competing was never it for me.
Right.
Like, I loved training. I loved going to the gym. I loved coaching more than anything. I love helping people get there rather than myself actually get there. I have no problem missing meals if I had to get my work done for the day.
Right.
Like, that is my important thing. Like, Ryan follows me around at shows, and he's like, or if we go to nationals, he's like, motherfucker, you haven't ate. Like, you literally haven't put food in your mouth today. And it's just because all I care about at that moment are my athletes.
Right.
And that's all. That's what I'm trying to focus on now, and also trying to step away a bit from coaching. I want to start, transitioning into other things that aren't even fitness related.
Right.
Just to not slowly stop coaching, but slowly scale it back, because I do coach a lot of people. This podcast being one of them, something I really want to focus on.
Same.
And then as far as like, stuff that I'm doing, still fitness related, like talks about the gym are still up in the air right now. And then we're starting an assistant coach program where like I'll take you on as a mentee for 6 months, and you'll have your clients and you'll learn my back end systems. You'll use all my stuff. I will be at your disposal teaching you all this stuff for 6 months. And then at the end of that, we gauge things and we bring you on as a coach full time.
That's through Gifted?
Through Gifted,
That's
yeah.
a
So
great idea.
It's something that we're thinking about doing. It's just a thought in the air right now.
Okay.
But I think it's a really good program that I think will be good. But I also think, I don't know, it just ain't worth the risk for me anymore.
No, hell no. It's not worth the risk really for anybody.
It affects
honestly.
everybody, because like even Dina was telling me, she was like, there was nights I couldn't sleep because of how you were snoring, because I thought you were literally going to stop breathing
Right.
when I was pushing all that body weight.
Right.
When I got up to like 215, right before Blake was born. And she was like, I couldn't sleep some nights because of how you were breathing. I thought I was going to have to resuscitate you some nights. And I was like, that's not right. Like,
Right.
that's not right.
Now she's stressing. Yeah.
And no matter what, I'm obviously the most I'm very health conscious. I'm all about blood work, all about this stuff, all the supplements, all of that, all the risk control or damage control,
Right.
I should say, not risk, damage control.
Yeah.
I'm really up on top of that, but at the end of the day, it's still doing it.
Right.
I was talking to Mahaley earlier, and I told him, I was like, I had 100 EGFR scores, my kidney function score, my estimated glomerular filtration rate. That was 100. Now it's like in the 80s. 80's still great, but it's declining.
Okay.
My trend is still declining.
Okay.
Why am I going to let that get to 60, 50 and be in stage 1 kidney issue, kidney
Right.
injury? Like,
What's the worst?
wake up.
Yeah.
Why keep doing that if I know I'm not going to be a top Olympian, if I know I'm not going to be at that kind of competitiveness threshold? So that's kind of where.
When do you think you like find out that you're not going to be a top Olympian? When not saying like give it up, but like when do you think people have to start being more realistic?
When you mature.
Like mentally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Because-
way more when it comes to mental maturity than anything, because honestly, that took a lot out of me. You go talk to 22, 23-year-old me, and I'm telling you, nah, dude, I'm going pro when I'm 25.
Right.
Turn 25, shit as hell ain't pro.
How many people have we heard I'm giving up when I'm 30 and then I
Yeah.
just turned 30?
Yeah, just turned
I'm
30.
Like, fuck. Do I have to
Getting
give
ready
up
for
now?
Masters Nationals.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, no, I think it's mental maturity. You get to that point where it's like, all right, where am I at in my life financially, career-wise, all these different things, and is this going to get me there? And it's not,
Right.
Because
how old is Urs? He's like 24, isn't
24?
he? Yeah.
Dude, you ain't that.
No, yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
you ain't hurt. You
Yeah.
ain't like that.
Yeah.
Even Raphael, he's like under 26, 27.
Right.
So it's like you're
Terrence is younger than me too.
Yeah, you're not. When is it? When is that line crossed to where you need to? Am I stopping early? By all means, yes.
Right.
Am I putting a hold on things early? 100%. I could
Right.
probably push for another 10 years and still be fine.
Right.
But for me right now, it's not in the cards, and it's just because I'm trying to focus on building this brand even more.
Right. But in different aspects, not just yourself.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I want people to kind of look at it, not just me. I want you to come to the camp because it's the camp, not because of me,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right. What you offer rather
Yeah.
than who what your
I am.
status
Yeah.
is.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to
Wow.
chase.
I wonder how many people or how many clients even you have that just signed up because of who you are and don't realize what they're getting in that package.
No. And that's why, like, we've talked about it, right? We've talked about, like, I charge X amount of dollars a month. Some people look at that as oh, he charges a lot a month. But let me break it down for what I give you in that month.
Right.
You know, I'm giving you nutrition, I'm giving you training if you do it. I'm giving you weekly check-ins, I'm giving you blood work analysis, health phase development. Like I'm doing all these things for you for honestly pennies on the dollar.
Right.
Like if you take it into a daily breakdown, you pay very little amount of money. If you look at the whole month, yeah, it could be expensive for some people, but that's a difference. Like I want people to be like, no, that's what he offers. Not that's what I want to just pay that because I'll work with him. I want them to be there for what I offer.
Right. I've never thought of it in that aspect. And I wonder how many people benefit without knowing that that's what you offer, but they see you, so they're like, oh, I want to sign up with Dom, and then all of a sudden they get this first class treatment, and then maybe they're thinking about the price being a little too much, so they go to try somebody else, and then their plan is handwritten on loose leaf paper and faxed to them, and they're like, what the fuck is this? I mean,
I've told there's been people that have left me, and I've told you. 6 months they'll be back. Yeah. And they're back.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And that's not even egotistical.
No, it's not egotistical. It's I can back 100% why you pay that amount of dollars and what you're getting out of it.
Right. Confidently.
And I get continuously told you're too cheap.
Oh, wow.
Still to this day, after upping my prices, doing all of that, I still to this day get told you are too cheap.
That's interesting.
So I'd rather be too cheap than too expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at least my quality, and that's another thing. Like some people, I don't know. I've never heard it. I don't hear it anymore. But I never hear people talking about like, oh, he's got so many clients. Like I bet he's copy pasting. I bet he's doing shit like that. But honestly, I've never actually ever heard that.
Like about yourself?
Yeah, I haven't heard that about myself.
No, I don't think I've heard it either.
And I think people don't talk like that, though, when they really know how I coach and see how I coach and all the back-end systems I have. And they see how efficient all of that is. They're like, no, he doesn't need to do that.
Right.
Because he's just so on top of it all.
Right. I remember you showed me some of that shit. And I'm like, what? It's just like computer programs and stuff. Yeah. And that you've taken all the time to develop and
stuff. The hard diet is still... Like our lifestyle client wise, the hard diet is still made fresh, but all of the things that I need to get to that point to start making it, I have a great system for it all.
Right. Yeah, and I know for a fact I've seen.
You've probably seen, how many people do you think you've seen diet wise?
I've seen at least 20 different diets of yours from different people.
From people that are all friends with each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would be able to know if you were copy and pasting.
Yeah.
And some people get this because they like that. Some people get this because they prefer this. And it's wild because my diet, I'm sure, is different than everybody's, which is different than his, which is different than his. And
I mean, you can line up your diet, Sal's diet, Ryan's diet.
It'll be just
completely different diets.
3 completely different people too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just goes to show what you offer in those 3, right? You've taken the time to know and learn what helps or what we like, what is going to keep us on our diet. Sal gets Pop-Tarts. I know that. Does Ryan?
No.
No, fuck no, Ryan doesn't.
Hell no.
Ryan would probably laugh if you gave him a Pop-Tart. He'd be like,
no,
why?
Ryan's a chicken rice cake bagel.
Yep.
Like,
and aren't rice cakes like his favorite?
His favorite,
like his treat.
Yeah. He loves chicken and cashew butter. He buys cashew butter in these like 5-gallon paint buckets off of Amazon.
That's the secret.
Cashew butter.
Okay, I gotta get on the cashew butter.
And
if I'm gonna look like Ryan, I gotta start doing everything.
It's like ramen noodles, eggs, and meat and Pop-Tarts, and then you it's just meat.
Yeah, it's steak. And then what carb would you like with this steak today?
Yeah,
bagel, potato, or oats?
You know, and then I don't know.
I'm
not trying to justify myself, but
no. But this is cool because normally you are by yourself on these podcasts in the sense of like from what I've heard. I don't listen to many of the gifted ones because it's just a lot of people on there and stuff. And like I only really know you, and it's nothing against those guys. Like I like them and stuff, but I don't know if I would turn on podcasting and take the hour to listen to a lot of it. But I did listen to a couple of them, and I like them and stuff. But it's very little like getting to know or really that authentic talk.
Yeah,
there's more topics that you're covering, which isn't wrong. There's nothing bad. There's very beneficial podcasts like that and everything. Yeah. But yeah, the genuine side of how you feel about it and what you do offer and the confidence of it, like people got to know that, man. That's the genuine authenticity that people are looking for now, that isn't offered in a 1-minute video on Instagram of you bench pressing. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's just not offered in that aspect. It's not offered in my 1-minute rants about people not merging properly onto the fucking freeway, you know?
Yeah,
like,
so...
you know, though, like, people probably have these, like thoughts of who we are based off of these 1-minute clips, and then they're going to listen to videos or podcasts. And funny enough, we both have history in podcasting in the sense. So it comes natural more so. It's not going to be too rigid and shit.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that shit's always annoying.
What was I going to say?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I have it. It's right here. Let me just grab it. Because authenticity, right?
Okay. I was holding my breath too.
I was looking at like, okay, how do I grow? How do I get out there more? How do more people kind of follow me? How do I grab more attention? The right kind of attention, right? Transformation pictures. Yeah, I posted 1,000 of them. Like, right. I don't need to post anymore.
Right. Yeah. We know you can change.
Yeah, exactly. Workout videos. Yeah. Sometimes I do the same lift for 6 months. Like, I can't post that every other week.
Same. I feel silly.
So the next thing that was YouTube, and everyone talked about YouTube is that's how your audience gets authentic Dom, authentic Clark is YouTube.
That makes sense.
And that's what I think this podcast can bring is just us sitting talking.
It'll be my like first time into YouTube in the sense. I know Hussam and I did it, but Hussam was everything. I just showed up. I told him, I'm like, name it the Gym Freak Podcast. I'll just show up. I just want to talk to people with you. Like, that was it. Right. And like, he did everything. But with this, like, I want to be like a little more into it. You know, I want
more hands on with everything.
Not that I wasn't serious then or anything, but like, I just see the, like, how big and like everything this is. I mean, we got a fucking like conference room. Like, that's dope as shit. We're not just sitting in Hussam's garage and I'm smoking blunts, which was dope. You know, that was the dopest podcast setup. But like, this seems like this is a better area, better. You know, we will get some authentic talks, shut the world off, turn the phones off. Like, the only reason why I have this, I said, was in case I forgot something to write it down. And from here on out, I'm going to try to remember like a notebook and pen so that I don't have to be looking at this at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not a problem.
No, for sure.
But I think...
it's nice to shut off, though.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think that was why I was so excited to do this. Because I mean, you know me close. Right. So, like, you know I'm 1,000 miles an hour every day.
All day.
And it's like, I just need that disconnect, you know.
For however long it is.
However long it is. Like, just let it happen.
No thought.
Because even at the gym, when I work out, it's still not disconnected. It's like I'm still getting emails, and the way my brain is wired is just answer.
I want to say something because I know you'll never say it, but can you leave this motherfucker alone at the gym? Please let this guy work out. You'll never say that ever, and he's the nicest guy. He'll talk your fucking ear off, but goddamn, is it rough working out with you? Just people coming up to you and talking to you. You want to talk about not being disconnected. You're the most connected person at that gym because people know who you are. People
that was a big reason why I stopped working out there.
I was about to say, it sucks not seeing you there anymore, but I get it. I see the same faces myself every day, and they piss me off. And they don't even know me. You know, I don't even know them.
Yeah, but I started working out at that Lifetime out in Bluefield, and the people that know me there know me as Dom growing up with them, not Team Kuza.
Not who you are on Instagram. Yeah.
So there, it's, you know, if I see somebody, it's, you know, somebody I went to middle school with, somebody I went to high school with, or somebody just from my like Chaldean community.
Right.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good? Cool.
Down to earth conversation.
That's it. Move on. I can work out. I'm not Team Kuza at that gym. I'm not competition prep coach. I'm not asking me 1,000 questions about your lift and your form in the middle of my workout.
How much better have your lifts been since?
Dude, they're 45 minutes and they're great.
Right.
Like, everything about them is great.
Intent is there, purpose, like
my
drive.
Headphones are in. Yep. Sometimes I finish and I'm like,
that's
shit,
it.
It's only been 40 minutes.
Right.
Like, is that too short?
Right.
Did I not do enough today?
Yeah. That's how if I can go at like Sometimes I work at 1. If I can go at 11, oh, it's beautiful. I'm done in 45 to an hour tops. And then I can do cardio if I have to.
Yeah.
I can shower before work. It's fucking amazing. I show up early to work in a better mood. But if I have to go after work at 5 o'clock, I hate everybody there. I hate everybody there.
Yeah.
And there's one thing about that West Bloomfield powerhouse. It's gorgeous facility. Oh my God, is it a beautiful facility. But the people that attracts, it attracts people that just want to have that membership as a status. And some people go in there and take it serious. Some people go in there as a status. Some people have $800 fucking outfits on in there with a 10-cent effort, you know? But the new thing, and I don't know what it is, if it's me, if it's me, then just tell me and I'll just keep my head down and shut the fuck up. But people love standing in front of me. They just love standing in front of me. I'll be curling mid-set. Somebody will just come and stand right the fuck in front of me. And I just have to laugh at this point. It's so apparent because I know they've been watching me for 3 sets. So then they come and they park right in front of me for the 4th set or something like that. And it's just always like I want to tap them on the shoulder and be like, why me? What did I do to you, man?
That gym is interesting.
It is.
It's like,
dude.
I'm one of the strongest dudes in the gym.
Right.
It's like, what is this guy doing? I was shoulder pressing 4 plates on a side on
Right.
that machine, and people were just walking by me like,
What the fuck is he?
the guy next to me was like, are you gonna save some for me? Like in a non-joking way. He was like, am I gonna have to go over there and grab 45-pound plates because you're gonna use them all?
Yes.
Even one kid, I was like warming up bench or dumbbell pressing, and I was like warming up with like just warming up, and I got to like the hundreds, and he just saw how fast they moved, and he's like, what are you gonna go up to? And I was like, oh, I love it here.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome.
Because over there it was just like at West Bloomfield, like I'd get into like I'm doing deadlifts and my working weight's around 355, like stiff legs, whatever, and dude next to me is just chasing me. Like,
Right.
why are your back's gonna break? Like you need to relax. Like like leave the ego at the door, dude, because you're not gonna be able to hang. I'm telling you.
Can we mention too how obvious that is?
Oh, it's the most obvious thing.
You always know when somebody's doing it
Yeah.
too. You know when they're doing it, and it's like, man, I don't know if it's because I've been in the gym long enough, and you maybe haven't, but it's obvious of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I like going down and using less weight than they use, and
To
then
make a point.
and
Like,
then them going
I
what-
can do this right without that much weight.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be lifting that heavy.
Yeah.
Or I'll take your weight and make it look effortless.
and that is ego, but that's like, you know, that again, that's what that gym, like gyms in general bring, right? It's a very testosterone workout, who's the strongest
Yeah.
kind of mentality. So when that challenge does come, you know, it's very hard to be humble and like not abide by that challenge because we all feel it.
Yeah.
You know, you're silly if you think that you don't feel it. If somebody's staring at you after every set,
And doing the same exercise
yes,
you are.
you know what is going on.
Yeah.
You know what is going on.
Yeah.
And it takes me a couple of times, especially if I'm on a cycle. I'm human. I'm running at superhuman levels, and I'll be the first one to say, like, you're a jackass if you get mad at somebody walking in front of the camera. But I told you recently that somebody purposely walked in front of the camera, and it pissed me off.
Did they stand or just walk?
They just walked, and
Mid set or before
mid-set.
the set? Okay. So you couldn't edit it.
No, and it wasn't even like that, but it was like the fact that I know that they were looking at me the whole time I was warming
Saw
up.
you put the camera up.
saw me put the camera and then walked by. So
Yeah,
of
see, that's a
course-
dick move.
right? And I should still be able to laugh it off because in my head it's like, oh, you're just a prick.
Oh, I laugh.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
I was
you were
mad.
so mad.
I texted you about it. I was
Like,
mad.
on the spot.
Yes, I was actually mad. I was like, Dom, the cycle is working because I'm mad right now. And like, but you know, I didn't. The only thing I did was stare like a jackass, right? Like look at them like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then they walked around where it would have been on the way back. And I was like, oh, look at that. You do know there's another route. But
I had a guy get pissed at me. Like I was using a water bottle and my phone, and it was on a bench press.
Oh, and you took the whole bench press
I took the whole bench press up for
okay.
a set.
Right.
For a set.
Right.
How long's a set?
Right. Not
30
long,
seconds,
tops
45
a minute.
seconds.
Yeah.
So I set it up, and he's like, "Are you using this?" And I was like, I'm just gonna record one set. He's like,
was that for your bench press?
Yeah. He's like,
you told me about that.
what? Like, you're taking up a whole bench? And I was like, dude, it's gonna take 5 fucking seconds.
Right.
And I went, did the set, got off, closed my phone, took it. I said, it's all yours.
Yeah. Do you want me to wipe it down?
Yeah. Like, are you all right, bro?
Do you want me to wipe it down?
I don't know. I think though, people do that shit to people that are strong on purpose.
And what, like, challenge them?
I had
in a way?
over 300 pounds on the bench press.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You're only acting a dick to me because I have 300 pounds on the bench press.
Right.
You're not acting like that if that's 135, something. You're just saying what you are challenged by my strength, and you don't feel comfortable with it, and you're jealous or something of it.
Right.
And you're trying to make me angry.
You're trying to big dog you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get this bench back.
Yeah.
This guy's lifting 300. He thinks he can just take a bench.
Yeah. Keep wearing your fucking Lululemon shirt and cloud shoes.
Yeah, dude. And that's everything you're going to run into in the gym all in one right there, right? Big dude taking up a whole bench because he thinks he's strong like you do. And then this guy getting challenged and wanting to challenge you.
That's the circle of life, dude.
It is, dude. It really is. And like, again, you didn't think of that you were taking a bench, but his experiences with big dudes, and he's cutting it through this lens that he has. And he's like, he's taking a bench because he thinks he can.
Yeah, no, legit. That's why. Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure he knows that he can't.
Yeah.
And you're totally
and I still
right.
did my set, got my video, and I went on with my day, and he was miserable. I don't know why, but
who knows, man? We could be here all fucking day trying to figure people out and why they get mad over shit. But I mean, I'm no better. Like I said, I got mad because homie walked in front of the video.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I get mad over dumb stuff too, but
yeah,
we all have our faults.
All human. But probably enough for today for the first one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're at an hour 15.
Nice flow. Nice talking to you finally.
Yeah, and getting this done.
I know.
We want to talk about who we want. We want to bring a guest on for the next one. So if anybody has suggestions, they can tell us or put it in the comments of this video or however you guys want to do it. We're even going to try to reach out to, I'm even going to try to reach out to people out of state and see if they're willing to come chill with me, visit, whatever, and then do an episode too.
That'd be sick.
Like, I'm thinking about asking, like, if Cam wants to, or like if anybody like that wants to like come for the day or whatever, make a little trip out of it, spend the weekend with us or something, and then record an episode, because I think that'd be fun, because you don't see a lot of live podcasts anymore.
No,
they're all virtual,
they're all
or
Skype,
they're just audio
or Zoom, whatever the people are using,
or they're just audio now. And the in-person ones, the live ones, that's the cool stuff.
Yeah, let's sit down, put something on. Yeah, that would be the one to put on.
But this will be up on YouTube, Spotify video.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
that's sick.
Yeah, and Apple.
Okay.
So YouTube, Spotify video, and Apple Podcasts. And I think one more. I forgot the other platform. It's going to be on all of those, so you could check us out at The Other Guys. No. Oh, my God. Those Other Guys.
Those Other Guys. Jeez, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to get used to that. So, we don't even know what we want it to be.
Those Other Guys is the podcast name. It'll be on YouTube, Spotify video, and Apple Podcasts. This episode will come out in a couple of days, so we will check you guys out on the next one. Thanks.
Peace.